presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
We are in St. Louis, Missouri, and it is time for doubleheader baseball today. A day-night doubleheader at Busch Stadium, a makeup from a game lost in April. Game one, Brewers Cardinals coming your way here on Fox Sports Wisconsin on a very warm, sunny Tuesday afternoon. Hi, everybody. Welcome from Busch Stadium. I'm Brian Anderson. We'll hear from Bill Schroeder in just a moment. We have some breaking news as we hit the air. This was supposed to be the Major League debut of Brandon Woodruff, but this was just a moment ago. He and pitching coach Derek Johnson, as he was in the middle of his pregame warm-up, walked off the field. That means Brent Suter is going to get the start today for the Milwaukee Brewers. He has been in the big leagues, has made starts in the major leagues before last year with the Brewers, and was starting in the minor leagues. We'll get more on Suter a little bit later, but first let's go down to our reporter Sophia Minard for more on the original starter, Sophia Minard.
Yeah, that's right, B.A. Woodruff, it was supposed to be his Major League debut, the 7th best prospect in the Brewers organization. He was the reigning minor league pitcher of the year from what he was able to do with high-A Brevard County and the Double-A Biloxi Shuckers. His 163 strikeouts a year ago led all of the minor league system, and he had certainly performed at a very high level in Triple-A Colorado Springs. So it's certainly a tough break for Brandon Woodruff. As you said, he is without today, scratched from his Major League debut with the right hamstring tightness, and so Brent Suter will come up and make the start here this afternoon.
All right, Sophia, thanks. And Rock, it's got to be a devastating blow to a guy who is so anxious to make his Major League debut. His family driving over from Tupelo, Mississippi, and can't imagine what this must be like. And you just hope it's not too serious for him.
Yeah, no kidding. But, you know, that's one of the things that the Brewers loved about Wood, the fact that he is durable. He was very rarely ever hurt. And not only devastating for Woodruff, but for the Brewers, first game with doubleheader, you're going to have to use your bullpen right away. But the good news is for Brent Suter, he has made starts in the minor leagues. Matter of fact, his last 4 appearances down in the minor leagues were starts, and certainly he did make his Major League debut in Seattle as a starter. He has pitched here in St. Louis. All these things are going to help him here today, but you hope that Suter is going to be able to extend a little bit, because the last thing you want to do is blow through your bullpen first game of a doubleheader.
Right, and that's why they added 26-man to a doubleheader roster. We're going to get more into that. A flurry of transactions for the Brewers, but we start play today with breaking news that no Woodruff, Suter instead. We're back after this from St. Louis. of our day-night doubleheader today on Fox Sports Wisconsin. The Brewers making a flurry of moves. As I mentioned, Rob Scahill was designated for assignment. Brandon Woodruff was supposed to start today. If you're just picking us up, we just told you the news that he has been a late scratch with a hamstring injury. Brent Suter will get the start today. He was supposed to be the 26th man on today's roster. You can expand the roster by one when you play a doubleheader. Good thing Travis Shaw is back. Had an emergency with his newborn baby, but it is a great sign that he has returned to the team, and the Brewers optioning Brett Phillips to Colorado Springs. So I'm sure there will be more roster manipulation here today, Rock. But let's dive in first to Brent Suter right now, who finds out he is starting this game, let's say 30 minutes before first pitch, and he's got to kind of calm the storm and get ready to start.
Yeah, he's just excited to be back here in the big league. He was ready to just head down to the bullpen, relax, and hopefully really not get used until late, but he does have big league experience. His first start, as we talked about early on, was in Seattle. He has pitched here in St. Louis, and things to know about Suter. He has made 4 starts. His last 4 appearances down in the minor leagues were starts, so that's good. He might be able to extend. Works very quickly. He needs all of his pitches. You think about this Cardinals offense, they're thinking they're going to be facing a big, tall right-hander thrown in the upper 90s. Now they're going to be facing a left-hander that barely hits 88 miles an hour. So he needs all of his pitches to be effective. And again, that big league experience is going to help him here today. He will not be a guy deer in the headlights type situation, but it is very disappointing for us. It would be the 4th major league debut for the Brewers in the last week with Woodruff, but you got to feel really bad for Woodruff. I mean, he was really excited about this opportunity, and good that the Brewers had that 26th man in Brent Suter, because perhaps they're not going to have to blow through their entire bullpen.
Well, we'll see what the bullpen's going to look like through this one. Hopefully Suter can give them 5 or 6. Who knows? Maybe he'll go the distance. And all you draft picks out there, this could be you one day. Draft night recaps coming up from the studio. When we continue, we'll let you know who the Brewers have drafted recently. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Day baseball here in St. Louis, and we'll have night baseball as well. It is hot, 94 degrees, very high humidity, and partly cloudy skies up above. Those clouds that come across are very nice, keeping the sun out of the game for a little bit. Craig Counsell's had to do some serious rearranging of his lineup card and his bullpen card, as Brent Suter will get the start today. And Craig Counsell and the Brewers will line up with Eric Sogard, Eric Thames, Hernan Perez at the top. Middle of the order will be Shaw, Brinson, and Bandy. Nick Franklin gets a start in left, Orlando Arcia at short, and then the pitcher will be Brent Suter, the Potawatomi Brewers batting order. So Sogard ready to lead off. Lance Lynn's first pitch. He is in there for a strike one called by Laz Diaz, and off we go, partner.
Yeah, Lance Lynn having another good season after coming off Tommy John surgery. He missed all of last year. Yeah, good numbers, 4-3, 288 the earned run average, making start number 16 career against the Brewers. He's currently 9-3.
Now, if you're just joining us for game time here, the news that Brandon Woodruff will not be able to make his major league debut today, out with a hamstring injury. Sogard flies to right, and Jose Martinez puts it away for the first out of the ball game.
Yeah, let's check out the Menards Cardinals defense. Near the bottom of the league in team defense are the Cardinals. Very unusual for them. Pham, Fowler, and Martinez in the outfield. You got Jed Jerko at third base. You got Garcia Wong up the middle. Matt Carpenter at first, and Yadier Molina behind home plate.
Cardinals coming off a sweep of the Philadelphia Phillies. Dexter Fowler starting to get his bat back together for St. Louis after a rough start to the year. Cardinals had lost 7 straight games before their weekend sweep of the Phillies. Brewers are coming off a series dropping 2 out of 3 in Arizona. Eric Thames back in the 2 spot in the batting order as Lynn pumps a fastball in there. See a lot of fastballs from Lance Lynn. Thames with the big numbers across the board despite a poor month of May. The 16 home runs has him up there among league leaders. High OPS over 900. But I think he would even admit he'd like to get it going at the plate once again. He's not been a confident hitter since that blistering start in April.
Yeah, I know, and nobody, I think, anticipated the start, and nobody thought he was going to continue that pace. But you know, the Brewer offense in general needs to get it going. I mean, Saturday, Sunday in Arizona, not a whole lot going on for the crew at the plate.
And a swing and a miss. Lance Lynn strikes out Thames. His first strikeout, and it's out number 2. 4-man crew in place. They'll have a long day out there as well. Laz Diaz is the home plate umpire. He'll call the balls and strikes. Dan Bellino is the first base umpire. Chris Siegel and Corey Blazer on the bases. The crew chief is that man right there, so if there is need for a replay or a challenge, he'll be the one to initiate it. Here's Hernan Perez with 2 away. Perez in the 3 spot, playing right field this afternoon. Brewers are still without Ryan Braun. Played the weekend without Braun and Travis Shaw. And we are very happy to report that Shaw is back with the ball club. Very scary situation that is ongoing, but more stable. We're going to hear more about Shaw and his newborn child from Sophia in a little bit. But it's great to see him back in the lineup, which would give you an idea that Travis has things somewhat organized back home, and we are thinking about Travis and his family. And
very difficult to play this game when everything's going well, let alone problems at home, you know, medically. So yeah, good to have him back. Hopefully that's going to inspire this offense. It's a good start for Hernan Perez.
2-out single to center and a man on for the Brewers. We'll get Shaw to the plate. Now, off-field challenges aside, the Brewers desperately missed the bat of Travis Shaw in Arizona. When you take Braun and Shaw out of the lineup at the same time, you can understand why the Brewers are experiencing some offensive struggles. had their chances in that series against Arizona, had a chance to win the series, possibly even sweep the series with maybe a little more offense and a little better work out of the bullpen.
Yeah, starting pitching for the Brewers continues to be solid. And that's one of the things that have been pretty good for a long stretch right now. Craig Counsell happy with that. Need to get some more runs on the board. They're okay on Friday. They scored a ton of runs on Friday, but Saturday, Sunday, not a whole lot.
Shaw is the top run producer for the Brewers with 42, just outside the top 10 in that category. Jake Lamb of the Diamondbacks leads the league with 57. So Shaw hitting .298 with 10 homers, 42 runs batted in for Travis. Got an OPS of .886. And Shaw sends one in the air to left, got some slice on it. Tommy Pham toward the line will make the catch, and that will end the inning. And we're off and running. Full day of baseball in St. Louis today. Cardinals are coming up against Brent Suter. Failed to score on the top of the first. Now the Cardinals are coming up, and Mike Matheny and the Redbirds coming off that series sweep of the Phillies. This has been a down season so far for St. Louis, coming in with a record of 29-32. The Brewers still sit atop the National League Central at 33-31. Matheny's Potawatomi batting order has Carpenter back at the top. Dexter Fowler hits second, then Tommy Pham. In the middle it goes Jerko, Molina, and Wong, with Jose Martinez, Greg Garcia, and Lance Lynn. There are 3 left-handed batters in the starting lineup, and as the Brewers switch from the right-handed Woodruff to the left-handed Suter, no changes in Matheny's batting order for game 1. And this will be interesting to watch Brent Suter here. As Rock mentioned, he's been starting in the minor leagues, but he just found out a half hour before this game that he was starting today in the big leagues.
Yeah, and pitchers are creatures of habit in the pregame preparation, so it'll be interesting to see how Suter comes out here today. You saw his numbers this year with the Brewers down in the minor leagues. They're pitching pretty well. 9 games, 7 starts, and he had a 3-1 record, 4.11 earned run average. The Sky Sox in AAA.
Well, he's the perfect man for the job. Nothing bothers him. He's one of the more likable individuals you'll ever find. Always in good spirits, happy to be in the big leagues, and he has been an incredible overachiever in his career. It's been fascinating to watch the rise of Brent Suter, who has pitched in this ballpark before. Last year in September, he pitched in back-to-back days here in St. Louis, and he pitched well, had a couple of single-inning outings. So this is not new to him, and he's the perfect temperament to handle an emergency spot start.
Man, it's good the Brewers had that 26 man that they could go to, this being Suter, because had it not been the case, Brewers would have been in bad shape in their bullpen, a bullpen that has struggled as of late.
1-2 the count, and that one's a little bit low and away.
I imagine Craig Counsell would be very pleased to get 4 or 5 innings out of Brett Suter today, maybe more.
Matt Carpenter back in the leadoff spot once again. He's been one of the great leadoff hitters in baseball the last few years, but they've tinkered with him down in the order, looking for more run production. It's been about a week since Carpenter has been back in that leadoff spot. The Cardinals have won a lot of games. That's a fly ball slicing over to left field, and Brinson comes crashing in to make the catch. In just his second major league game, Brinson at 6'5" makes the catch over Franklin for out number 1.
Well, it's just a routine out to start the game. Center fielder takes anything he can, and he runs into Franklin, but they do make the catch. Brinson, his second game. Franklin hasn't made too many starts out in left field. Got to give way to the big fella in center.
Franklin is an infielder by trade. And strike 1 to Dexter Fowler, the switch hitting Cardinals center fielder.
Franklin making his 9th start in center this year. I should say in left.
And a bouncing ball out to second base. Sogard will make a play, and Fowler is retired. Well, if you're wondering if Brent Suter was intimidated or anxiety ridden before the game, check out this scene as he came in from his pregame warm-ups and he's entering into the dugout. This was awesome.
Trying to everybody getting them fired up. Let's go. Eddie Cedar involved. Everybody having a good time in that dugout. I love these guys.
What a great scene.
I mean, these guys are just loving what they're doing, and they're excited. And first game of doubleheader. That's the scene down in the dugout.
Gotta love that. Shift is on. Sogard ranging over, and he'll take care of the speedy fam. And that's how you get it started. Emergency spot starter Brent Suter in there for Brandon Woodruff, and he retires the Cardinals in order.
Scoops from the clubhouse brought to you by Car Soups. And breaking news here already. Brandon Woodruff had been called up from AAA Colorado Springs to make his major league debut. He went out to warm up with pitching coach Derek Johnson and was a scratch with a right hamstring tightness. So it is Brent Suter making the emergency start for the Brewers here in Game 1. And we had asked Craig Counsell about Suter coming up as the 26th man, and he said he was the right choice as he can fill a lot of roles. And he said a day like today is important to have that kind of length. Counsell said he even pictured using him maybe in both games of this doubleheader. So certainly, BA and Rock, this will have a big impact on what Counsell is able to do with his bullpen the rest of the day.
Yeah, we'll have to get into that a little bit as this inning continues. Thank you, Sophia. And good work by Sophia, who was down there when Woodruff came off the field and alerted us all that there was something going down and the wheels were in motion.
Well, you really feel bad for Woodruff. He had to be really excited to get his first start in the major leagues, and kind of a disappointment for us. We saw Woodruff every now and again in spring training, but boy, what a talent he is. You wonder if the Brewers are going to make a move between games. I mean, DL Woodruff perhaps, and activate somebody else.
Lewis Brinson leading off this second inning, strikes out. Just his second major league game.
This is one of those split doubleheaders, so they're not back-to-back games. Typically, you know, back in the old days, the doubleheader is about 20 minutes between games, but this is a 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock start. We'll see what the Brewers do. They do have the ability. They can make a roster move between games.
And we'll see if they do that. You just wonder of the moves that they made as Jet Bandy gets his first bat underway. The moves that they've made, you wonder if any of these guys are still in the neighborhood. You know, Brett Phillips was sent down, optioned down to AAA, but that couldn't have happened. I'm just guessing now. It couldn't have happened last night because we weren't sure Travis Shaw was going to make it back in time or not. So we'll be curious between games, but that's why we have Sophia, and she'll be here gathering up all that news. And the Sky Sox, the AAA affiliate, are in Memphis tonight, so that is probably best case scenario. The Sky Sox are matching up against the St. Louis Cardinals AAA affiliate. That is an easy path to get from there to here for the Brewers to bring another pitcher up, as Lynn starts his inning with back-to-back strikeouts. By the way, with all the news today, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge Rock. So every home run and strikeout in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. And since June 1st, nearly $2.6 million have been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. That is the home run / strikeout challenge as of this year. Right back to the mound. Over the bag, it's barehanded and short by Garcia, and he gets Franklin. Heck of a play there. 1-2-3 inning. The Brewers go quickly in the top of the second. Cardinals coming up. Excellent play by Garcia, the backup shortstop.
Next Wednesday, June 21st, the Brewers and the Packers team up for Pack at the Park. This special ticket package includes a seat for the Brewers matchup against the Pirates, plus a green and gold Brewers hat. Visit brewers.com/theme night.
Kid's got all the gear on, ready to go. A Brewers fan here at St. Louis.
Go, crew, go.
Is that what he was saying, or was that what's left on the card?
That was on the card. Instead of, go, Pack, go.
Oh, I get it. He didn't, give that the right kind of pronunciation.
Turley.
You'll get another chance tonight.
Right.
Jed Jerko starts it, and a swing and a foul. Brent Suter on the mound. You dialed our way to see Brandon Woodruff, one of the top young pitchers in the Brewers system. He was a scratch before the game with a hamstring injury. So Suter pitching in his second inning, retired the side in order, and he's got a ground ball here to Arcia. And Jerko is out.
Well, let's check out the Menards defense for the Brew Crew. You got Franklin, Brinson, Perez in the outfield. Shaw, Arcia, Sogard, Thames, and Jet Bandy behind home plate. Franklin making start number 9 in left field. Brinson, his second start in the big league.
And for Brinson, his first start in center field, which is his natural position, but he's been playing all 3 in the minor leagues. The #1 prospect in the Brewers system, Lewis Brinson. It's going to be fun to watch him get his major league career started. Fascinating video of Brinson arriving to the major leagues and walking out onto the major league stage for the first time in Arizona. That's on the Brewers social channels, and well, you'll never forget that moment, huh?
No.
What a moment to capture on video as well.
Yeah.
He will be watching that forever, because I doubt he remembers any of it.
Kind of like walking on air. Your feet don't even touch the ground when you first step into a major league dugout. That happened to me a long time ago. That was '83 in Texas.
There's a liner into center field. Brinson is right there, and he's got it. Molina is retired. So how long from the time you were told you were going to the big leagues until the time you actually got into a game? What was the time distance?
Well, the next day. I mean, I got called up. I flew into Arlington. My name was actually in the starting lineup that day, but my flight was late. I didn't get to the ballpark until about a half hour before the game, they scratched me.
Where were you coming from?
From the lineup, Vancouver.
Not exactly next door, Vancouver to Arlington, Texas.
Right. Yep.
So what was the most difficult or anxious time for you, on the flight there or the night before?
Well, I was told that I was in the starting lineup. I mean, I was dying to get in. Then I had to wait for my luggage to be delivered. So it wasn't one of those things where, you know, you get jetted off and somebody takes care of your luggage.
Yeah.
I sat there at baggage claim waiting for my luggage, and it's getting to be, you know, 6:15.
Oh, man.
I finally arrived about 6:30, and I didn't get much sleep that night because I knew I was starting the next day.
What a moment.
Good times.
I mean, there are very few that have ever experienced it, and it's to have that moment for Brinson captured on video. Don't you wish you had something like that when you walked out onto the field for the first time?
Right. I wouldn't want to have my first at bat on video.
There's a bouncer. Suter is over, and Sogard hits him. No, that's Arcia over there deep in the hole. What a play that was by Arcia. My goodness. And Suter to have the presence of mind like a receiver coming across the middle. Well done. Top of the third inning. And a beautiful defensive play to end the last inning. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game comes early, Rock.
Yeah, watch Brent Suter. He gets off the mound very quickly, gets to the line, and then goes to the bag, and that makes it a very easy throw for Arcia. So just your basic 3-to-1 or 6-to-1 put out. You don't see many of those. But that play made possible by good hustle by Suter getting off the mound quickly.
And Arcia makes it look so easy. He knows he's got to throw quickly because Wong runs well as Arcia leads off this third inning.
Key to that play also is for Arcia to get it to the pitcher as quickly as he can so he can catch the ball, then find the bag. Both of them did a perfect job of that.
Arcia's got his average up to 262 coming into play today. He's really been swinging the bat well for an extended period of time now. After a slow start at the plate. In his first full season in the big leagues, the young phenom, 22-year-old shortstop.
It's amazing how many fastballs Lance Lynn throws and continues to dominate. Remember, he missed last year with that elbow surgery, ligament replacement. 288 earned run average in his 13th start. Flip a curveball up there once in a while. Has not picked up a win since May 16th. Pitches well, just not getting a lot of run support.
Well, he's been their best, right? The Cardinals have struggled this year, but their pitching staff overall has been pretty good ERA-wise as he strikes out Orlando Arcia. He's getting a lot of mileage out of that fastball, moving it around in the zone. He picks up strikeout number 4. First 8 batters he faces, he's got 4 punch-outs.
One of those things when you have a guy getting that much mileage out of a fastball, he'll cut it once in a while. Looked like he did on that last pitch, but that kind of tells you he's hiding the ball pretty well. Hitters have a difficult time picking it up.
And Brent Suter will bat. Suter, you might remember, made a start for the Brewers last year. The first time we had seen Suter in the big leagues was a start against the Seattle Mariners in a spot starting role. And he held his own. He gave up 4 runs in 4 1/3. Dealing with all the nerves. An older rookie, 26 years of age last year. He's now 27. He does have 2 at-bats in the big leagues. He's never had a hit. His first at-bat in the major leagues this season. Suter has been hitting in the minor leagues as Lynn strikes out another number 5. So first time through the batting order, the Brewers go 1 for 9 with 5 punch-outs against Lance Lynn. Only hit was the 2-out single by Hernan Perez.
Yeah, Lynn coming in with 63 punch-outs in just shy of 69 innings of work. But the impressive statistic for Lance Lynn, only 47 hits in those 68 2/3 innings. I mean, a benchmark is just as many innings as hits you give up. That's pretty good. He doesn't give up many hits.
Back to the top of the order here is Eric Sogard now with 2 away. Sogard flew out to right his first time up. That's how the game began. First of a doubleheader today. Day-night doubleheader. We will hit the air at 6:30 p.m. Central Time for the nightcap. That'll be Brewers Live. Jeff Grayson in studio.
Ready for 2?
Heck yeah, man. This is great.
How was your weekend?
Good weekend. A lot of graduation parties. Congratulations to all of the high school, college graduates.
Greg Kashan's son graduated over the weekend. I had a party.
Exciting times. Ate a lot of free food, I'll tell you that. That's the best part. Three balls, no strikes on Sogard. And that one's in there. You got a way to beat with home plate umpire Laz Diaz. He gives you a little bit of the hesitation.
Right. It's got to be hot for him back there.
Oh man, how about it? Wearing all black. I thought umpires had the light blue jerseys for occasions such as these.
Woo. Yeah. They're going to earn their pay today.
Yeah, there's no escape for those guys. They're not running around as much as the players, but they're not spending half the game in the dugout either, as Lynn issues the walk to Sogard. First walk of the game, 2-out base runner for the Brewers. Interesting note on Lynn's last start. You look down at his line, you're wondering, now why did Mike Matheny take him out? After 5 innings, he had thrown only 78 pitches. Your next question is, well, they were probably down. That wasn't the case. They had a 3-1 lead at the time. And Matheny just felt like it was time to make a move. He didn't like the way the game was going in his mind, and with 5 innings and only 1 run and only 78 pitches, throwing predominantly fastballs, Matheny decided to make the move. So Lynn was out, and Lynn comes into this start probably feeling like he had a bit of a side day in his last start.
Probably a little bit more fresh than he normally is on his 5th day. Sometimes that's not good for pitchers. So far he's had pretty good command.
Now the Brewers are a very good first inning team, and Lynn put up a 0 in the first, and a 0 first time through the batting order. Sogard is at first with Thames at the plate, and Lynn has fallen behind 2-0. This doubleheader has been on the schedule for a while. This is a makeup game from a game that was lost due to rain back on May 3rd. So both managers have been preparing for this day-night doubleheader. Yeah, it's a hot one today. Good call with the umbrella. Both teams were off yesterday. I've had a lot of questions about why they didn't just play yesterday, but there is a rule from the Players Association to Major League Baseball about how many consecutive days you can play, and that would have been in violation of that rule for both clubs. So they took their off day yesterday. Cardinals finished up their series with the Phillies Sunday and swept them.
Yeah, before yesterday, the last off day for the Brewers was May 22nd.
And Thames takes a strike.
I think a very well-timed off day, particularly for the Brewers bullpen. 20 straight games, and you can't do that unless agreed upon, and I don't think any manager wants to do that.
Take your chances with a doubleheader.
Right. Brewers needed the off day, particularly for that pen.
Full count, 2 outs. Runner goes, and it is outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks. Good patience at the plate by Sogard and Thames. And now the Brewers get something cooking here for the first time. Perez singled his last time up, the lone hit of this one for the Brewers. And Hernan has found the home run stroke here lately. Powerball home run count is at 3 in his last 6 games, including a bomb in Arizona.
Yeah, back-to-back days with home runs for Perez against the Diamondbacks. And the only base hit of the game for Milwaukee came in the first inning.
Hernan with 9 homers this season. 2 on, 2 out. 3-hole hitter at the plate. Brewers trying to strike first today, and a swing and a foul straight back.
See, Hernan's so good at taking the ball to right field, you know, fastballs away, and they're starting to pitch him in a little bit more and turning on it. You know, all 3 of the home runs in this stretch have been fastballs in, pulling him to left field.
One ball, 1 strike on Perez. wave and a miss. They're now trying to go the other way, but a breaking ball from Lynn.
Slider, back-to-back sliders to Perez.
They're not in right field today. He was the regular left fielder when Braun went down with an injury. 1-2 pitch. And that one's outside. 2-2 now. Getting into some deep counts. Second time through the batting order. Lynn struck out the first two batters, Arcia and Suter. But both Sogard and Thames pushed it to a 3-2 count, both drawing walks. Spoils another one. Count stays at 2-2. Brewers come into play today in first place in the National League Central by a game and a half over the Cubs. 2.5 up on the Cardinals. And then you got the Reds, who have lost 4 straight, and then the Pirates rounding out the division. Pirates have actually won 3 in a row. 2-2. Perez pulls one on the ground to third. Got a long throw, does Jerko, and it's in time. And that will retire the side. Lynn strands a pair. And the Brewers are headed to the bottom of the third.
Lewis, first of a doubleheader today between these two teams, and baseball's brightest stars take its biggest stage as Miami hosts the Midsummer Classic this year. You can make sure your hometown nine are well represented by going to Brewers.com. Slash vote, casting a ballot filled with Brewers up to 5 times per day and 35 times total.
A beautiful sunny day, a hot sunny day, but good baseball weather. Easy to get loose on a day like this in St. Louis. Cardinals coming up. Brent Suter went to the mound, and we've got a little bit of a delay here because from his at-bat and the pine tar on his bat, Brent Suter had some of that on his jersey, so he's getting a quick cleanup. Sophia's down there. She's got more on the story. What do you have, Sophia?
He did have what looked like to be dirt underneath that jersey, so they did take the jersey off of Suter. He was out here in his warm-up shirt. It looks like he's waiting on a fresh jersey. Dan Wright was also wiping off his arm with a cloth, so I think they're just waiting on a new jersey for Suter, and then he'll get back on the mound. As if this day hasn't been interesting enough for Brent Suter, right?
Very interesting day for him, and he's all lathered up. Rocky's a left-handed hitter. He puts a lot of pine tar on his bat, I suppose, and I could see where that would cause some problems. You can't walk out onto the mound with pine tar on your jersey.
Yeah, foreign substance, and you know, the
I think the umpires noticed it right away. Actually, Brent Suter and Counsell noticed it, went to the umpire and said, this is what we got. Suter just checking it out and showing Laz Diaz, look, I'm clean, I'm okay, I can start now.
Such a great personality. I love this guy. It's all wet. And I mean, again, most guys have a backup jersey, but all the changes that have happened, I can't imagine Suter will even have a secondary jersey. So he's going to get as much time as he needs here. His normal 8 pitches to warm up. He's not rushing. This is the way he always throws.
Yeah,
so
leaving it to Jason Schauger to be able to be right on top of it, the Brewers equipment guy, and we'll get it going. Clean as a whistle. I tell you, you talk about all these changes. That's the one guy you don't think about. I mean, Jason Schauger. Think about all the uniforms he's had to put together.
Right. Equipment manager.
Put numbers on them and names and.
Yeah, I was down there today. Lewis Brinson was asking about uniform pants and could they be a little longer and whatnot. He's like, man, give me a break. Let me get home and then we'll get that all dialed up. And yeah, it's been a flurry of activity.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you bring extra uniforms where they're blank and then you put names on it. Somebody, you got to go somewhere to get this stuff sewn on. I mean, you don't carry a sewing machine. I don't think Jason would do that. But yeah, a lot of work by a lot of people with all these roster moves.
A lot of laughs in there too. Suter's ready to go. A little bit of a delay. Jose Martinez will lead off. 7th place hitter. Suter has retired the first 6. And 4 of the 6 have been ground ball outs. Jose Martinez has a homer, 6 runs batted in. Had a couple of hits against the Brewers first time around. And a big breaking ball. Martinez could not wait on that 76-mile-an-hour curveball.
Yeah, this guy doesn't get cheated even with 2 strikes.
Martinez has been banged up with a groin injury. Knocked him out of the lineup in May. He missed 17 games in the month of May. Went out early May on May 7th and then came back on the 29th. So he's got a brief stay in the big leagues, but a career batting average as a major leaguer over 300 at this point. That's in 37 career games. Hit his first big league homer against the Blue Jays in late April. Drove in his first 2 runs as a Cardinal on June 3rd against the Cubs. Just getting his big league career started, and a very highly touted prospect. Brandon Woodruff has returned to the bench. There's a swing and a miss. Suter with that slow curve at 74 miles an hour. The strikeout of Martinez.
And those are the guys that he feasts on. Those big guys with big swings and able to pull the string. He comes at you all arms and legs and then just pulls the string. Good pitch off the outside corner. Talk about a guy, Brent Suter, barely touches 88 miles an hour.
There's a shot on a hop right to Arcia. Throw up the line, but the catch and tag by Thames. And with 1 pitch, Garcia is retired. And that's 8 straight retired by Brent Suter, and another ground ball out for him.
Arcia, a young kid that knows how to save his arm, but every now and again when he drops down, he lets one get away from him, and good play by Thames to get off the bag and make the tag. Gets rid of it quickly, that sidearm flip, and able to get the out. You don't need to throw it 100% every time.
2 gone. Here's Lance Lynn, the Cardinal pitcher. Does have a hit this year, 1 for 22. Brewers don't have a long line of left-handed starting pitchers in their history. Matter of fact, Suter is only the 5th since 2012. That year, Randy Wolf and Chris Narveson both were in the starting rotation. Tom Gorzolani made 10 starts in 2013. Suter had a start last year, as we told you, had a couple of starts actually. One of those, his first, was in Seattle, and then we saw 2 starts out of Tommy Malone this season. And Suter walks the pitcher. 2-out walk to Lance Lynn. Hey, a reminder, beginning Thursday, the world's greatest golfers battle to be crowned America's champion. It's golf's can't miss major. It's the 117th U.S. Open, and it begins Thursday on Fox, FS1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And we wish our colleagues at Fox all the best. Mark Loomis, producer, and Steve Bime, the director. Great crew there.
You got tickets?
Joe, well, I had tickets. I've dispersed them at this point. We won't be going. No, you're not invited.
You asked me if I wanted tickets.
We have to work. We have baseball games to cover. Lots of news to disseminate. We'll be watching them.
Dispersed to anybody I know?
Maybe. It's going to be a great setting. I'll tell you, have you seen some of the images of Aaron Hills?
I have, yeah.
My goodness. Hope the rain holds off and they don't get too much bad weather and rain, and it softens up the course. Golfers don't mind playing in the rain. They can actually score really well when it's soft. The grounds are soft because of the rain, but
Other talk about the rough.
Significant. Just don't hit it in the rough. I've talked to a few players. They are raving about Aaron Hills. How much fun they think it's going to be. Big golf course. So we are very proud of the first major ever in the state of Wisconsin, the first U.S. Open, I should say, in the state of Wisconsin. And we wish our colleagues at Fox all the best. 1-2 to Carpenter with Len at first. Bandy with a good block. Brent Suter retiring the first 8 before a 5-pitch walk to the pitcher. Trying to get Carpenter here, who bounces to first. Nice easy hop for Thames. And Suter has 3 scoreless on the board. He's pitching well in his emergency spot start. We are scoreless in St. Louis.
Miller Lite, the original light beer. By Hupy and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Doubleheader continues here at Busch Stadium. No score yet as we head to the fourth. Travis Shaw leading off, and great to see him back with the team. He was reinstated from the family medical list here just today, and it's been a roller coaster of a week for Travis and his wife Lindy, as just a week ago Monday they welcomed their first daughter Ryan, and she has been dealing with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, HLS, which is a rare heart defect where essentially the left side of the heart is either underdeveloped or even non-existent. So she had to undergo open heart surgery on Friday and another follow-up procedure on Saturday. So Travis has been with his family and gave a lot of credit to the surgeons and the nurses at the cardiac department at Children's Hospital. He said that they knew that this was a heart defect that she would have to deal with, and so he said when they were researching where to go, he said Children's Hospital in Milwaukee was the third best in the country. So he said it was just a blessing that he was traded here to Milwaukee. He said overall he feels good about the condition that his daughter Ryan is in. She certainly has a long road to go yet, again, just a week old, but he said it's great just to have get back into baseball, a little bit of normalcy after what's been just a roller coaster week for he and his family, but certainly appreciative of all the support from the organization and from everyone as he dealt with it.
All right, Sophia, thank you. Excellent reporting and all the information coming out that Travis has been dealing with, and we weren't sure, initially he went on the paternity leave that Major League Baseball offers its players, which is 3 days, not knowing that there was anything wrong or something that could come up. And then of course he came back to the ball club after missing a couple of days, played well for 2 games, and then did not make the trip to Arizona, and now returning here to St. Louis. I think when everybody saw that Travis Shaw was on the itinerary coming back to rejoin the club, at least you had some sense that things were going well, or things were stable back home. And we're certainly thinking about his wife Lindy and daughter Ryan as well, and all the Shaw family's got a lot of family in town, and so sometimes it keeps everything in perspective, and it's great to have Travis back playing ball
and getting back to work. A nice distraction. Of course, you're always thinking about what's going on back at home. Anybody with kids in the Wisconsin, Milwaukee area know all about Children's Hospital. I know we do in our family. Great work they do, and we appreciate it.
Shaw draws the walk to lead off the fourth. Brewers have another base runner here. 2 walks last inning. So 3 of the last 4 batters have drawn the walk against Lance Lynn, and here comes Lewis Brinson. Second big league start for the Brewers' #1 prospect, Lewis Brinson.
And no hits in his start against the Diamondbacks, but a couple of walks and some patience at the plate. We saw quite a bit of him in spring training. Very quick bat. Very quick on the inside corner.
Brinson did have a steal in his Major League debut Sunday. 6'5", just 23 years of age, and a world of talent. He was part of the Jonathan Lucroy deal, the big trade with the Rangers last year. The Brewers were able to acquire a couple of significant young outfielders and a starting pitcher. Louis Ortiz is the pitcher who is pitching in Double-A. I believe I just read a report today he went on the disabled list at the Double-A level, but he's got a chance to be a very good pitcher. He's only 20. And the 23-year-old Brinson, and then you have Ryan Cordell, who was the player to be named later. And we did see a lot of Cordell and Brinson this spring, and both look like they are Major League star potential type players. Brinson gets the first opportunity.
And has a chance to be a 5-tool guy. I mean, he runs well. He takes very good routes in the outfield. That's one thing Craig Counsell told us in Arizona when Brinson came up, that he's been very impressed with the way he goes after fly balls. He's got a good throwing arm from the outfield. Kind of a gap hitter, gap to gap, left center to right center. Concentrates on the middle of the field.
2-2 pitch to him is swung on and fouled off.
Only 6 home runs down in AAA, but a lot of times, the power, the home run power, comes later as a guy develops a little bit more in his career.
Yeah, we saw plenty of pop from him in spring training. He hit some monster home runs in Arizona. Brinson is here in the big leagues because of the injury to Jonathan VR, who went on the disabled list with back spasms. So he's on the 10-day disabled list. And Brinson with that big swing, cuts and misses. And Lance Lynn has his 6th strikeout.
And fastball tied him up inside that time. A lot of fastballs for Lynn, basically fastball slider. He really didn't have that pitch that really keeps you honest as far as, you know, the big curveball, the changeup. It's a lot of hard stuff from Lynn. It works for him, though. I mean, his numbers have been good. He's always been tough against Milwaukee.
So Shaw at first. Here's Jet Bandy now. A strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. Another check on Shaw. Fourth inning, no score. Brent Suter in an emergency spot start has gone 3 scoreless, has not allowed a hit. Only base runner was a walk to the pitcher Lynn. Brewers do have 1 hit to go along with 3 walks. That hit was a single by Perez in the 1st. So here we are in the 4th with 1 away. Travis Shaw, a leadoff walk at first base, and Bandy trying to do some damage here against Lance Lynn. Bandy was a strikeout victim his first time up. There's something about that Lance Lynn fastball. It's elusive. Hitters tell you he hides it well, so you don't see it out of the hand right away, and then it's got a bit of an unusual riding or cutting movement to it. It doesn't do what your brain thinks a fastball should do.
It's coming into you kind of at an angle. From a right-handed hitter's standpoint, it goes from the inside corner a little bit toward the outside. You know, based on that delivery that he had. There's another one.
And Bandy strikes out. That one right on the edge. And 2 outs in the inning.
You know, that high sidearm delivery, and you can see the baseball as it gets to home plate kind of cutting across. Doesn't come straight in.
7 strikeouts for Lynn. We're only in the 4th inning. Brewers offensively are going to have to find a way to cut their strikeouts down.
Yeah, 13 strikeouts on Sunday against Robbie Ray and the Arizona Diamondbacks.
And they are on a record-breaking pace. And strikeouts compared to the power production, it works okay. It works. It's not the kind of stigma that it has been. However, in the flow of an offense, when you get into the rhythm of a game, sometimes these strikeouts, when you're unable to advance runners, when you're unable to drive in a run, say from 3rd with 1 out, those are the ones that kill you.
Yeah. Every team's striking out more than, you know, they have in the past, but it's when the strikeouts come. That's your point.
Brewers offensively are averaging 9.7 strikeouts per game. And if my math is correct, that is slightly more than 1 per inning. But remember, there are a lot of games that they're playing where they're only at the bat 8 innings.
Right.
So that's an extremely high number.
Well, if you have those kind of strikeout numbers, you got to back it up with home runs, which they've been able to do so far.
1-2 the count to Nick Franklin, switch hitting left fielder. And Franklin takes a ball. And you can watch Lynn. He just moves that fastball in and out, up and down. He calls it rocking the boat. It's the same pitch, same grip, same velocity, but he just keeps it in different quadrants of the strike zone, and he has excellent command of that fastball. Franklin, a little jam shot foul in the seats.
Lance Lynn coming into the season had a career earned run average of 3.37. I mean, that's outstanding, you know, this day and age. Coming into play today, this year, 288.
And his career numbers against the Brewers are stellar. 2.31 ERA in 15 career starts against Milwaukee. 19 appearances. Originally, he pitched out of the bullpen before converting him to a starter. 2-2 pitch. Franklin fights another one off foul. Mostly fastballs to Franklin. See the cluster of pitches up in the zone and away, and that one's away again. Franklin fouls another one off. Pitch count's even more important on a day like this than normal. With the heat, managers will not be too eager to allow a pitcher to go so deep in a game, especially a big guy like Lance Lynn. So anytime you can get that pitch count going, you take advantage of it. Franklin's done a nice job in this at bat. Pitch number 72 of the game coming as we play in the fourth, and Franklin strikes out. So Lynn finally got him. Went with an off-speed pitch, strikes out the side after a leadoff walk, and Lance Lynn has punched out 8 already. What a story he's been, Jeff. I mean, this guy leading the league in batting average and homers, second in RBIs. He is a rookie, and he is lighting up the world of baseball right now, Aaron Judge. And to do it on the big stage in New York, huh?
Yeah, amazing start to his career. And the Brewers are going to see him right before the All-Star break at Yankee Stadium.
And I love John Sterling's call, the longtime Yankees radio man who's been known to come up with some pretty good catchphrases, right? Every time Judge hits a home run, Sterling says, "All rise." All rise for the Judge. It's a good one. Yep. Brent Suter back to work. Dexter Fowler leads off and lines one to right, a base hit. And the first hit of the game for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, the lineup shift has helped Carpenter and Dexter Fowler. And Carpenter was hitting at number 3 spot. Things weren't going all that well for him. Dexter Fowler in number 2 spot has been doing a pretty good job taking that off-speed pitch into right field. A little lineup switch for Mike Matheny and the Cardinals has helped their offense.
All right, Fowler, a base stealer at first. Suter has a very good move, and he is just funky enough to make it hard on a base runner to get a break.
And he gets rid of the ball very quickly once he goes toward home plate.
As you would imagine from a pitcher, there's one of those funky moves right there. As a pitcher who cannot break 90 miles an hour, Suter controls the game very well, meaning he controls the running game. He throws the bases well. He's good on ground balls. He is as unorthodox as it gets, but he's a guy that just makes plays, and he can.
He works quickly, keeping his defense on their toes. Even when there are men on base, he likes to get it and go, not mess around.
Suter deals a strike to Tommy Pham. Pham bounced to second base his first time up, sort of. It was more up the middle than second base. Brewers had a shift on. They modify that shift now with a runner at first.
Dexter Fowler, a base stealer, and just can't figure out Brett Suter at this point.
Fastball misses. That's about all you'll get out of the fastball out of Suter. 87, 88 miles an hour.
Right. And Fowler's first move on every pitch. First one step toward first base. He's not able to read that move too well.
2-2. Pham, a swing and a miss. Down he goes on strikes. Brent Suter with his second punch out. And it's the first out of the 4th inning. A little change up there, Rock.
Yeah, that one got a lot of the plate. I mean, taking a little bit off. 84 miles an hour. I mean, the fastball is what, 87, 88? Right. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell.
Maybe a dead fish fastball.
Yeah,
huh?
BP right down the middle.
Under hitting speed. There's a wave and a miss on a big sweeping breaking ball. See, here's one of the problems with some of the statistics on pitch recognition. I mean, we've seen Brent Suter a lot. Now, the official pitch that he struck out Tommy Pham with is a changeup.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about that, because
who identifies
his
that?
fastball is 88 miles an hour. His changeup's 84. I don't think so.
Who identifies that?
There's human error involved.
Guy in the press box.
It is definitely a change of pace pitch.
A straight pitch at 84 for just about every other major leaguer is a changeup.
I feel better about a cutter than anything else. Jerko sends one to center. Brenson ranges over, and he's got it for the out. Second out of the inning.
It was a good pitch, no matter what you want to call it.
It was an out.
Hey, with MLB.TV Premium, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Visit MLB.TV for details. That better?
That was well done. There was a lot of enthusiasm.
Well, the first one was just kind of a warm-up.
Yeah, you kind of.
Plus, it was new. I had never seen it before. Got to take.
You know, those cards are available to proofread if you like, hours before the game. That's your choice.
It's much more fun just to do it cold.
Waiting for the next word to pop up.
Look at the card, and I'm reading halfway through. I realize I've never seen this before.
I hope there are no 3-syllable words in this.
Well, they know not to put those in.
Yadier Molina. Molina lined out in the second inning, one of the hardest hit balls of the game for the Cardinals thus far.
Yeah, Dexter Fowler is having a rough time on that move from Suter. He just can't get a jump.
Even when Suter throws to the plate, Fowler is going back to the bag a step. There he goes. Again, there's a strike.
Yeah, a lot of times what a base stealer will do is just say, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go in the first move and take my chances.
The fascinating thing about Suter, if you can dive in here with this guy, just watch how he changes his delivery at times. He's probably got 3 different speeds, I'd say, on how he delivers the baseball. He'll do a little bit of a quick pitch. He'll do a slower hang with the front leg. And as a hitter, you're constantly battling what you think you're going to see versus what you see. And then, of course, he's got the different velocities, the slower than slow curveball that I've seen him throw into the 60s before. And so he definitely hovers under bat speed. And that's why he can throw an 87-mile-an-hour fastball right by Yadier Molina right there.
You know, when you think about the Cardinals in their clubhouse this morning, right? They're coming to the ballpark. They're thinking they're going to be facing a big, tall right-hander throwing in the upper 90s, 97, 98. They're gearing up for that. Not that that's a big deal for these guys. I mean, they make adjustments quickly, but yeah, the mindset completely different. You got a left-hander maxing out at 88.
Are you surprised Matheny didn't change his batting order? He does have 3 lefties in his starting lineup today. Not that Carpenter would be in a platoon.
You got Diaz, Piscotty on the bench to start this one today.
There's a ground ball by Molina. Shaw's coming in. Plenty of time with Molina running, and that will retire the side. And Brent Suter has given the Brewers 4 scoreless. Only 1 hit allowed thus far.
Brewers and Meyer want to honor the real heroes of our community by recognizing one outstanding individual as the Brewers Community Achiever presented by Meyer. Achievers will receive 4 tickets, on-field acknowledgement, and the opportunity to throw out a ceremonial first pitch. So if you would like to nominate someone in your neighborhood, you can nominate them by visiting brewers.com/community, or you can pick up a nomination form at Miller Park at the guest relations booth.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the Brewer half of inning number 5. Lance Lynn and Brent Suter in a pitcher's duel here today. Lynn has 8 strikeouts to go along with 3 walks. He's given up the 1 hit. That was a Perez single in the first. And here's Orlando Arcia now to start it. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for the Brewers, and Arcia fouls away the first pitch. Hot sunny day here in St. Louis. First of our day-night doubleheader. A makeup from an early May game, a rain out here in St. Louis. Got the Major League Baseball draft going on. Keeping tabs on that as well. Good work by our Brewers Live pregame crew detailing some of the draft particulars, including an interview with Keston Hiura, who was the first pick for the Brewers this year. He went 9th overall.
Guy had some terrific numbers in college.
What a hitter, right?
Second baseman that can hit.
UC Irvine. There's a lazy fly ball. Fowler's coming over, and he's got it for the out. One gone. Arcia retired. Of all the sports, baseball draft is the biggest crapshoot, I would say. You're always wondering if these guys will pan out. I heard a note the other day that shocked me. Remember Ken Griffey Jr. when it was inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was the first ever overall #1 draft pick to make it to the Hall of Fame. It is an inexact science.
And you draft a kid that you think has some ability, that potential moniker that they put on guys. Sometimes it takes, 3, 4, 5 years to see him in the major league, sometimes longer. All the other sports is different. Immediate impact.
It's been interesting to watch the new regime of the Brewers go about the draft, and Todd Johnson now the director of amateur scouting, and it's very much an analytics driven process now. There are plenty of scouts on the ground. A Suter, that's a base hit to left, and that is #1 in his major league career. Brent Suter in his 3rd or 4th career at bat with his first major league hit. Nicely done.
Going to happen sooner or later. A fastball kind of slices it into left field, out of the reach of Garcia. There you go. It's a day he's going to remember, getting an emergency start and a base hit.
Well, in his 4th career at bat, his 2nd of the day, delivers his first base hit. Now, he did have a couple of hits in AAA this season, or as he likes to say, he was a 200 hitter in AAA. That ball will be on a mantle for a lifetime.
Always good to get it to somebody that's not going to mess with it.
Dan Wright's a good candidate, the head athletic trainer. Now what they ought to do is get another ball and just load it up with pine tar to chronicle the moment. If you weren't with us earlier, Suter had to go back into the dugout to have pine tar removed from his jersey, from his bat. You can't take the mound with pine tar on your jersey, or anything else for that matter, a foreign substance. There's a soft liner that is over the head of the shortstop Garcia. Base hit for Sogard. Back-to-back singles. A couple of lefties slapping base hits the other way. And the Brewers are in business here with one away.
They can't try to pull that pitch. That's more of a two-seam fastball from Lynn. Going away from Sogard, goes right with it. Third base hit for the crew.
Good effort from Garcia, but Sogard had just enough on it. His first hit of the day. He's 1 for 2 with a walk.
Breaks Sogard out of a mini slump.
That's going to bring up Eric Thames now. 3rd consecutive left-handed batter against Lance Lynn. Well, Thames on the Powerball home run leaderboard. He is 2 home runs shy of the league lead right now. 16 homers for the year. Santana has overtaken Travis Shaw. Santana with a home run in Arizona, now 11. And Perez with the 3 homers in his last 6 games, climbing the leaderboard as well. Perez due next. Thames at the plate. Sogard, by the way, snapping an 0 for 15 skid before that single to left. Still been drawing the walks. And gives you terrific defense always. After his blistering start in his first week with the Brewers, a correction. 2 balls and a strike on Eric Thames. And that's in there. Hit the edge.
Yeah, but I guess if you were to say in spring training that these would be his numbers at this point, you'd take them no matter how you get them.
Oh, for sure.
Right? I mean, hot start, cool off, but it's all about, you know, a game of averages. What have you done on a monthly basis? What have you done at the end of the year?
2-2 to Thames. This is high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Thames didn't just have a good month of April. He had a record-setting month of April. He set franchise records in the month in homers, hit 11, and runs scored. He scored 28. Hit .345 with 11 homers and 19 RBIs in his first month back in the big leagues after 3 years in Korea. And he takes ball 4. Thames draws the walk. Second time he's been on via the walk, and now the bases are loaded with 1 out, and the red-hot Hernan Perez coming up.
He's got 50 hits and now what, 43 walks, so he's been on base quite a bit.
That plate discipline, he said, was sharpened in Korea. Thames with the 2 walks today gives him 43 walks for the year to go along with 62 strikeouts. It's a good balance. All right, here's Perez now. 1 for 2. He singled up the middle on Lynn in the first, and he swings at the first pitch and a high fly ball center field. That's the pitcher over there at third, Suter, and he will not challenge the arm of Dexter Fowler.
And that's a killer right there. First pitch. Perez had a good one to hit. Took a little off to Lynn. That was 88 miles an hour. Outer half, and that's right in the wheelhouse of Hernan Perez, but he's out in front a little bit and popped it up. Not near deep enough to score the pitcher from third base.
Ed Cedar, third base coach, talking through the scenarios with Suter. And it'll be Travis Shaw now with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Best chance to score yet for the Brewers. They did put 2 on in the third, but those came with 2 outs already in the inning. Snap throw to first. Close play at first. Thames is just back.
And you don't mess around with that guy behind home plate. You feel like you're pretty safe at first base with the bases loaded, but not with Molina. Gives the sign and throws behind Shaw, and it's pretty close.
Pitch was called a strike. That gold patch on that chest protector is there for a reason. He had a stranglehold on the gold gloves in the National League for a decade. Shaw takes one high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buster Posey won the gold glove last year for National League catchers.
Yeah, his manager had a bunch of them too.
Yeah, 4. Matheny, 4 gold gloves in his career. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that one's inside. You can see Lynn purposefully try to turn that one over a little bit, at least try to put a little more cut action on it. Down and in.
Yeah, it is kind of a cross between a slider and a cutter. It doesn't have a whole lot of downward tilt to most of them. Once in a while he'll do that.
It's all subtle, and he's got great command of them. Shaw fouls it away a little bit late.
And
so there's the difference.
He can reach back and give you a little bit extra. That was the best fastball he's thrown. You save those for when you need them, and bases loaded certainly is a time where you break out your good stuff.
Well, you get a base hit here, and that would certainly get the wheels in motion for the Cardinals. And Molina, I think he just wants to give Lynn a breather before a big pitch coming up as they talk through strategy. Maybe changing the sign as Wong has come in.
Well, this is the pitch. If you're Lance Lynn, you want to get it done. You don't want to go 3-2 to give the runners a head start, so you figure he's going to get a good pitch to hit here.
Bases are full of Brewers. 2 outs in the inning. And the Brewers' best run producer at the plate, Travis Shaw. Inside, ball 3. And now the wheels will be in motion. If you're the Brewers, you'd love nothing more than to have Shaw deliver here, if for no other reason to take the lead, but to get Brent Suter into the dugout to cool off for a minute.
That's right.
And standing out in the sun for a while.
1 out single.
We'll wind him up. Runners go. 3-2 pitch in the air, center field. Fowler drifting back with room. Side retired. And the Brewers strand them loaded. Still no score. We head to the home 5th. St. Louis coming to bat.
Doubleheader here in St. Louis. Our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball Break. Some news for you around the big leagues. Looking ahead to tonight, quite a pitching duel between Clayton Kershaw and Trevor Bauer tonight in Cleveland. Kershaw is tied for the National League lead in wins with 8. He's currently 8-2 with a 2.2 earned run average. And for the Blue Jays, their first baseman, Justin Smoke, his last 28 games just on fire, a 340 average, 13 home runs. He's now hitting 295 on the season. And the MLB draft continues today, began at noon with rounds 3 through 10. And BA and Rock was a busy day for the Brewers yesterday with their 3 selections.
Yeah, 3 big picks yesterday, the top rounders, and then they are through 6 rounds now. The Brewers just drafted Devin Hairston out of Louisville with their 6th-round draft pick, so they've got 4 more to go. And the 3 picks yesterday, getting the draft started. Always a fun time in Major League Baseball. As we get underway here at the bottom of the 5th, just to refresh your memory, this is where we are as of right now. Keston Hiura was the first pick for the Brewers, 9th overall. Tristan Lutz, a high school pitcher out of Texas, who is committed to the University of Texas, but as Todd Johnson was saying, he feels like that the first 3 picks for sure are all picks that feel like can get signed. It's one thing to draft them, Rock. It's another thing to get them signed and get them into the organization.
Yep, and put them where, you know, in the level that you figure they're going to be best served. I mean, that's going to be Tom Flanagan's job, the Brewers minor league director, and put him in a spot where he can succeed and hopefully develop into a quality big league player.
Congratulations to all the draft picks. Caden Lemons was the 2nd rounder yesterday. Kid out of Birmingham, Alabama. Brewers went with a college hitter first in Hiura, and then went with a high school outfielder and then a high school pitcher. big, hard-throwing right-hander in Caden Lemons. The second and third pick for the Brewers yesterday, Rock, just to make you feel good. Born in 1998.
Wow.
There's a bouncing ball to Sogard, and he'll make the play to get Colton Wong.
1998. Goodness.
How about that? You literally do have socks older than that you're still wearing.
And wearing today, probably. I'm guessing.
Oh, boy.
Today is a golf shirts jeans day.
That is all from at least 1998.
Right. And, well, they're finally broken in at that point.
There's a wave and a miss by Martinez. Game's getting younger and younger.
1998. You know, the first year for the Brewers in the National League.
That's right. Yeah, interleague baseball 97, and then made the switch into the National League in 98. Oh, 2 pitch to Martinez. Doesn't bite. Little off-speed pitch from Suter. Suter pitching in his 5th inning now. He's only given up the 1 hit and a jam shot foul.
Jams him on an 87-mile-an-hour fastball.
I wonder if hitters look up to the pitch velocity after getting jammed like this. Look at Bandy's target.
I mean, even a high target at 87 miles an hour, that's a changeup for most guys.
The art of pitching on full display today with Brent Suter. He works extremely fast. That's all part of the Suter philosophy. He wants to get things moving. He knows his infielders and outfielders are going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of balls put in play, and he wants to keep them sharp, so he likes to work fast.
And hitters try and slow him down.
In the air, right center. That ball is well hit. Brenson back to the wall, looking up, and there she goes, a home run. A mistake by Suter, and Martinez did not miss it. And he gives the Cardinals a 1-0 lead in the 5th.
Yep, a hanging curveball. Waited back nicely on it after striking out his first time up. Check out the curveball right down the middle. Didn't try and pull it, and big and strong, able to hit it a ton out in the right center. And Brinson gave it a look, but gave up quickly.
Big pop. Jose Martinez. Cardinals are confident he is going to be a 20 to 25 home run a year type player for them. There's a slow roller. Suter's over, gloves it, and will take it himself for the second out.
That's not an easy play right there. Going that hard, able to grab it with the glove. Right off the end of the bat on a breaking pitch, and look at Suter busted over there, and that would have been a difficult play had he not made it. Would have been a tough play for Thames.
And Bandy giving Suter a little bit of a breather after that sprint to the bag.
Yeah, it's 95 degrees out here today. Sometimes we in the press box forget about how hot it is down there.
That's what we have Sophia down there for, to remind us. She's very good about reminding us how good we have it. Chad Huffman is going to pinch hit for Lynn. Lynn's pitch count pushing near 100 through 5 innings. And the Brewers are going to get into that bullpen, but Lynn now has a lead 1-0. Costly inning for the Brewers offensively last inning. They had the bases loaded with 1 out, and their 3-4 hitters coming up. And 2 fly ball outs to center. And the Brewers got nothing.
Another short start for Lance Lynn. Back-to-back outings of 5 innings.
Chad Huffman into left field, and that is going to get down, and it bounces over the head of Franklin. Huffman thinking about third. He's on his way, and the throw comes in late. Huffman has a 2-out triple.
Now it hit that hard dirt surface on the warning track right over the head of Franklin. They got it off the end of the bat, able to hook it down the line, and Franklin didn't anticipate that high bounce. 2-out triple. Now the top of the order coming up.
And Matt Carpenter has always been excellent in spots like this, driving in runs. Suter's only given up 3 hits, but 2 coming in the last 3 hitters. Carpenter is 0 for 2. A fly out and a ground out. And there's a strike from Suter.
There's a piece of paper, white paper on the infield grass, and Matt Carpenter distracted by it. Les Diaz asked Travis Shaw to put in his pocket.
Suter's ready to go. Carpenter taking a little extra time getting in the box. No balls and a strike. 1-0 Cardinals. And Carpenter pops it up. That's going to slice into the seats in foul territory. Chad Huffman with a 2-out triple. Carpenter having a very poor year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. But he has been among the best in baseball in his career in that category. Been an off year for him. A move back to the top of the order. Mike Matheny hoping to restart this offense. Brewers put a shift on here with Carpenter at the plate, which means nobody is close to the bag at third, and Huffman is about halfway down the line.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue if ball gets in the dirt. Squirts away from Bandy.
In the air to left, that'll slice foul in the seats.
And he is literally halfway to home plate by the time that ball hits a hitting zone. Shaw got off the bag a little bit further once Carpenter had 2 strikes, not figuring he was going to try and bunt. It's got to be tempting, though. He lay one down. Doesn't even have to be a good bunt. That scores a run.
Carpenter rolls over one, foul. Brent Suter trying to get through this 5th inning. You can tell he's feeling the heat a little bit, the literal heat. Taking a little extra time between pitches. The 1-2 on the way. Carpenter into center field. Brinson going back, still going back, can't get it. Bounces out, and it's a ground rule double. And the Cardinals now lead it 2-0.
I think that ball surprised Brinson out in center. That had some carry on it, had some backspin, just kept going. Yeah, Carpenter with that nice easy swing. Now watch Brinson. I think he has a beat on it. Sticks the glove out.
I think it fooled him a little bit how hard it was hit. Not able to get there. One hops over the fence.
Well, 2-0. Suter gets a visit from his pitching coach.
Outfield coaches will tell you that you throw that glove out just at the last second, keep running hard. I think it fooled in the way that baseball carried. The wind is blowing out. And pretty good over out toward right center. It looks like that's the way it's blowing. Kind of swirling maybe, and gave out a little bit extra carry.
Jared Hughes starting to loosen in the Brewers bullpen. So back-to-back hits. 3 of the last 4 batters have hits, and they've been hit well. Martinez with the homer. Huffman with the triple down the left field line, and now the Carpenter double. And here is Dexter Fowler, who singled his last time up and had been the only hit for the Cardinals through the first 4 innings. For Fowler, his 9 homers, all coming as a left-handed batter. The switch hitter, more power from the left side. One ball, one strike. And a little jam shot. It's going to drop. Carpenter around third. Ball is bobbled in right, and another run is in. And it's 3-0 St. Louis.
Yeah, Cardinals have hit for the cycle in this inning. Well, able to dump one in front of Perez, and I don't think he would have had a play anyway. I mean, even if he catches it cleanly out there in right field. Up and in, gets enough of it, dumps it into right. 3-0.
And that's going to be the end of the line for Suter. Four hits in the inning against Brent Suter. And here comes Jared Hughes. Gives Suter a lot of credit. Took the ball in an emergency start, gave him 4 shutout, but it all fell apart here in the 5th, and we got a pitching change. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Oh, that looks like a good spot to cool off on a hot day in St. Louis. Downtown St. Louis. And the Brewers and the Cardinals playing the first of a doubleheader today. And Brent Suter maybe just ran out of gas, giving up 3 runs all in this 5th inning. Still has the runner at first, his responsibility, and it's Jared Hughes on to work. And he starts. Tommy Pham with a breaking ball to get ahead in the count. the numbers for Hughes, 27th appearance of the year, and might have righted the ship here in the last few outings.
He has been used a lot. He had a couple of days off, Sunday and Monday, off days for Hughes, and you figure he's feeling a little bit stronger these days. Last pitched on Saturday against the Diamondbacks, a scoreless inning, and included a couple of strikeouts. Last 4 appearances have been very good for Jared.
Trying to get out of this 5th and get the Brewers back to the plate. Brewers had a chance last inning. They had bases loaded, 1 out, and could not score. And the Cardinals answer with 3 here in the 5th. And the last 2 runs driven in coming on 2-out hits. Carpenter and Fowler. On the ground to third, Shaw will go across the diamond, and it's in time to end the inning. So Hughes cleans up the inning, but the Brewers are down 3-0 as we go to the 6th. Into the Cardinal bullpen we go. And it paid off for Mike Matheny. The Cardinals get 3 runs. And Rock, his outing was short and sweet, but Lance Lynn able to rack up 8 strikeouts against the Brewers in 5 innings.
Yeah, looking to pick up win number 10 career against Milwaukee. And basically it was fastball slider as he normally does it. 8 punch outs. The Brewers had a golden opportunity in the 5th inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, not able to score. A couple of fly balls to center field. So Lance Lynn once again doing it against Milwaukee. John Brebbia takes over, got called up not that long ago. That was the end of May. He was down in AAA. Last appearance for Brebbia was June 8th at Cincinnati through a scoreless inning.
If you're the Brewers, this is the inning of reckoning. You certainly do not want to get into the 8th inning trailing the Cardinals. They're back into the bullpen. Has been good for them. Brebbia against Lewis Brinson to start it, and the first pitch is down and away. Brinson 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. He's searching for his first major league hit in just his 2nd big league game. And a big swing and a miss. Two players in the big leagues for the first time. Brebbia with his 6th appearance as a major leaguer, a 27-year-old rookie.
Basically fastball slider for Brebbia. Gets it up there when he gets going about 95 miles an hour. Slider to go with it.
1-2 pitch on the ground out to second base. This is Wong, and Brinson is retired, 1 away.
Hey, this Saturday the Brewers and Padres face off at Miller Park. And after the game, all fans are invited to stick around for a free post-game concert by Mercy Me as part of Faith Day presented by Thrivent Financial. For tickets and details, go to brewers.com/theme nights. And it's a day game on Saturday, Brewers Padres.
Yeah, the word is that Chase Anderson and Jared Hughes, two Brewers players that will speak after the game for that event. Be a great weekend in Milwaukee. Hope you'll make plans to join us at Miller Park. You got the U.S. Open going on at Erin Hills. You could finagle a major championship golf / Major League Baseball weekend out of it with some creative planning. No balls and a strike on Bandy, and a swing and a foul.
Yeah, that Saturday game against the Padres, a 3:10 start. Time do they tee off on Saturdays?
Well, depends on if it's normal and there's no rain. They'll be off early. You won't see the leaders tee off until about, I would say, 2 o'clock local. That's just a guess. But you know, you don't need to see the leaders on a Saturday. You go out and you watch the golf, soak up the atmosphere, and then as long as you're out of there by 1:30, you'll be fine for a little tailgating and then a Brewer game. That'd be my day. If you're asking me how to map out the day, that's what I would do. Bandy fouls one away.
As opposed to actually playing before the game on Saturday?
Yeah, don't play golf when there's a major championship in your area. Go watch golf. And then maybe, just maybe, some of that will sink in.
I was planning on going Friday for a little bit, but my tickets fell through.
Ooh. Too bad. That is a shame.
Out of sight, out of mind, right?
0-2 to Bandy. Rolls over 1 to third. Slow roller to Jerko. And 2 men are out. Ground ball outs for John Brebbia. That's his game.
A lot of sliders.
Brebbia from Elon University in North Carolina. He was in the 2011 draft, drafted by the Yankees. Hit hard, but right at Martinez. Franklin on the first pitch lines out. A quick 3 outs for Brebbia. Cardinals coming to bat. And our big story today is a human interest story from baseball. And Pittsburgh Pirates right-hander Jameson Taillon back last night, went 5 innings, returning from testicular cancer surgery, and an incredible comeback early detection important.
Yep.
And Taillon, believe it or not, is right back in the big leagues after, what, about 6 weeks out?
Yeah, no kidding. It's amazing what they can do these days. So good for him. 5 innings, 1 run, and struck out 4 in a win against the Marlins. You root for guys like that. We've seen Taillon. He pitched against the Brewers. He looks good.
Yeah, he is a potential ace, as you see Domingo Santana in the game. Hernan Perez will go over to left field. Franklin made the last out, so Counsell trying to get multiple innings out of his new pitcher, Willie Peralta. He employs the double switch.
You see Willie's numbers. He has struggled as of late. 16th appearance. Earned run average about 6.5. Willie last pitched on Sunday, gave up 4 runs in an inning of work.
These are important innings for guys like Willie Peralta, Neftali Feliz, Carlos Torres, but specifically Peralta and Feliz, who have just been ineffective. And you're having a hard time finding a spot for these guys to pitch.
Yeah.
And these guys know it. Look, when you're a reliever in the major leagues and you start thinking through the game and you're realizing you're coming in the mop-up roles or an extra inning role, that's pretty much the last stop before a move is made. So you've got to fight your way out of this paper bag. And
yeah, early on it looked like Willie was doing pretty good out of the bullpen, but things have turned for the worse for him. Started in the rotation, now in the bullpen, and the Brewers are giving him every opportunity to try and work through this.
Well, that pitch right there has been the problem for Peralta. He just cannot find the slider. Still has great velocity on the fastball, but when you're a hitter and you can start checking off the list of pitches to worry about, you end up with a fastball only, and Peralta's been hit hard.
Man, basically it is just 2 pitches, fastball, slider. He's been working on the curveball, the changeup from time to time, but that pitch right there, early in the count, not able to throw it for strikes. And not getting it close enough to get swings when he's ahead in the count.
Jed Jerko has been one of the Cardinals' best hitters this season. And he takes ball 4. So Peralta got ahead of him and then could not hit with the breaking ball and issues a leadoff walk here in the 6th. He's got to imagine that Peralta and Feliz confidence just shaken severely right now. These are 2 guys that have been at a very high level. Peralta as a starter, who was once deemed as a potential ace of a pitching staff. And of course Neftali Feliz, who was a top closer in the big leagues. A man with 40 saves, got saves in the World Series. That's a base hit by Molina. Clean single on the first pitch.
And it really doesn't matter how hard you throw. You talked about it, and we've talked about it many times with not just Willie Peralta, but every pitcher. You don't have that second pitch you can throw for strikes, particularly early in the count. Hitters aren't even going to worry about it. It's like you don't even have it. They're just waiting on the fastball, and that's what Molina did right there. When you talk about the guys that they're concerned about, Willie Peralta for sure, Feliz, yes, and I think Torres is in a tough stretch right now.
You're right.
And a guy in Torres that they relied on heavily early in the year and all last year.
Was one of the best relievers the Brewers had last year, Torres. Now, there is a major gap between the late inning relievers, or let's just call them mid to late relievers, when the Brewers have a lead versus when they are trailing. And that is a gap that, as a manager, can put you in a really tough spot. And it does in a lot of cases, and it has been that way for the Brewers, it does not allow you to come back in many games because these opponents are stretching leads out late, like we saw in a dramatic fashion in Arizona Sunday.
Well, this is kind of a new phenomenon because the Brewers just the opposite early in the year. I mean, bullpen was outstanding. The winning scenario back end bullpen has been good. And it was really obvious, evident on Sunday you know, the issues that the Brewers bullpen has had. And you know, the Brewers are in so many close games, and you know, they've had leads in just about every game, and you're using guys like, you know, Barnes, Knable, you know, Jared Hughes. You're using these guys all the time. And when those guys are down, not able to pitch, you got to rely on other guys to do that, and that has not happened. Brewers pretty much in the bullpen, as far as usage, victim of their own success.
Right.
Close enough to have to use your top relievers, even in losses, ultimately.
Well, that image of those three pitchers right there, even though Josh Hader just got to the big leagues, I would say at this moment, those are the three on the winning side. Those are the three, if you have a lead late, you're probably going to see Hader, Barnes, and Knable in that order. And there's a lot there to like with those three. It's the other side of the fence that has the Brewers a bit concerned right now.
No, Hughes has been good. Drake has been good. Oliver Drake has been the guy that the Brewers have used against lefties.
Jacob Barnes right now second in the league in games pitched. Corey Knable fifth in the league in games pitched. Those are your setup and closer. Two balls, two strikes to count on Colton Wong. Let's check in with Sophia for more on the bullpen.
Well, we asked Craig Counsell about the status of his bullpen after a tough game on Sunday when they gave up 3 home runs and obviously lost that game in Arizona. And he said, well, look, it helps to have the day off. They're all fresh. And he said on a day like this with a doubleheader, he said you certainly expect that a minimum of 7 guys will be used out of the bullpen. So he said they all know that they all have to be available. And he said the big positive, Corey Knable, Jacob Barnes had a couple days off.
Liner in the right field corner is going to bring in a run. And Wong with a double into right makes it a 4-0 ball game. And Sophia hitting on one of the concerns for the Brewers. You got to make a decision in this game down 3-0 as a hanging slider is driven into right field. I mean, you're not going to roll out your best guys right now when you're down 3-0. Right. So you almost have to take one for the team, and hopefully these guys at some point are going to get it turned around, or they're going to have to find somebody who can pitch in spots like this and not allow the tack on runs.
All right, well, Willie's going to be out there for a while. I mean, it's you know, too early in the game, game 1 of a doubleheader, so you're not going to see anybody getting loose anytime soon. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get out of this mess himself.
A walk and 2 hits to start his outing.
And again, he was ahead of Wong 1-2. And just couldn't put him away. Couldn't find that slider. Ultimately ended up hanging one on a 2-2 count.
Jose Martinez takes a fastball strike. Martinez broke the scoreless knot. He homered in the 5th inning, last inning off Suter. The game completely turns around if the Brewers get a run or 2 in the top of the 5th. They had them loaded with 1 out. They could not score. The Cardinals then score. Starting pitcher, who's an emergency spot starter anyway, runs out of gas, and Brent Suter, and now you're in this position. Peralta has not had a scoreless outing since May 24th. That was a game against the Blue Jays when he went 2 scoreless, and at that point looked like he had maybe turned the corner. Second and third, nobody out, and that one in the air, left field. That's Perez out there now. Runner tags at third. Molina coming home, throw coming in, and it's late, and Molina scores. Sac fly and an RBI for Martinez makes it 5-0. And the first out of the inning.
I was kind of surprised Molina was going to try and score. He can't run much at all. Martinez lifts one high in the air. I didn't think it was deep enough to score Molina, but it was. He's able to tag up. Got a little bit too much air under the throw, did Perez, and Molina in there safely. All the way on the fly. Too late.
Craig Counsell popped out of the dugout to have a chat with Corey Blazer, the third base umpire, just to check and see if Molina left early. Normally you'd get an appeal over there where the pitcher would step off and throw to third, but does not look imminent. So one away, runner at second. Here's Garcia now. Two more runs are in. Cardinals have scored all 5 in the last 2 innings.
Surprised that Wong didn't get to third base. He saw the throw was high in the air. Wasn't going to hit the cutoff man, but elected to stay at second base. That's a throw that you can read easy, and you're standing at second base. Comes out of the hand that high, and he would have been able to get into third base without a problem.
There's a strike. Got the breaking ball in there. A little slower velocity on that.
This is one of these outings where you would figure maybe Willie try and work on maybe a curveball changeup, try and get something going. You know, that third, fourth pitch. Sometimes that can even help your good pitches, your slider.
You know, Peralta was coming up through the minor leagues as a prospect. He had a good changeup. Remember Jerry Augustine reporting back, having seen him with the Timber Rattlers, that he had a good changeup. Wait till you see this kid Peralta. Big fastball and a good changeup and a wipeout slider, and that was how he was described. And you put a pitcher like this together with all those pitches, and you're talking about a potential ace. But it's so hard to maintain, and that's why those guys who perform at this level for such a long time get so much respect, because whatever has been the case for Peralta, he's just lost a bit of it.
Not often a starting pitcher can have a long career with only 2 pitches. You know, so many great Maddoxes out there. And when you get into trouble, you throw a changeup and it gets hit. You throw another one, it gets hit. You don't throw it anymore. I mean, that's just human nature. You turn yourself into a 2-pitch guy. And that doesn't cut it for the most part as a starting pitcher.
And another walk. So Garcia's aboard. Been a disaster of an inning for Peralta. 2 walks, 2 hits. The only out was a sac fly. And that'll bring up Stephen Piscotty, who will most likely be in the starting lineup for game 2. Their best right fielder.
You know, even with 9 relievers, this is where the injury to Woodruff really hurts Craig Counsell and the Brewers. You know, you get maybe 5-6 innings out of Woodruff. Then you have, if you need them, you have Suter that can give you 3-4 innings if you're really stuck in a bind. Brewers don't have that guy other than Peralta to come in and give you maybe 2-3 innings. If the game seems to be out of hand, which it is not at this point.
Well, he's grinding out there. You can tell. I mean, it's more than just about getting big league hitters out for Peralta. There's a career on the line. He knows where he is. He got sent to the minor leagues last year and actually pitched well and got back up to the big leagues and pitched okay in his return. And that performance last year, the second round, when he was recalled from AAA, is what earned him a spot in the rotation to begin this season. Two balls, no strikes. Stephen Piscotty pinch hitting. Cardinals have had their troubles giving up leads and not being able to score offensively and giving up a ton of runs on the other side in the middle of games from the 6th inning on, 6th inning to the 9th inning. The Cardinals have the worst run differential in the majors at -52. Santana can't quite get there.
Yeah, the closer always had his problems. They say Rosenthal's really throwing the baseball well. You got those lefties. You got 3 lefties out there. Cecil's been having a rough time.
Now, this is where the bullpen ranks right now. So the ERA is among the worst. High opponent batting average of 266. So yeah, they've had their issues. But with every run allowed here, that hope starts to dwindle a little bit. Full count to Piscotty. Piscotty was away from the team for a week. It was revealed once he returned to the ball club that his mother was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and it's a horrible diagnosis and disease to deal with. He went back home to be with his mom and his family.
Yeah, that's rough to have to watch a loved one go through that. You hear more and more instances of ALS these days.
I would imagine you're already starting to see it too, that Piscotty would take the lead on some sort of fundraising endeavor for ALS research. Two on, 1 man out. Peralta needing a ground ball double play, and Piscotty steps out. And it's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. 97-mile-an-hour sinker from Willie Peralta picks up the 2nd out.
Yeah, that one had some purpose to it right there. Really saying, here it is, hit it if you can. Big movement right at the bottom of the strike zone, and Piscotty over the top of it, a big swing, pulls off it, and Peralta with his first strikeout. One of the reasons the Brewers put Willie in the bullpen is that he could just go in here, go into the game and just throw as hard as he can for as long as he can. That pitch right there is exactly what Derek Johnson wants him to do.
And Don Johnson out for a visit. Dolly Feliz getting loose. Cardinals have added 2 here in the 6th inning. It's 5-0. Brent Suter went the first 4 with a 1-hit shutout. Get an emergency spot start if you're just joining us. Brandon Woodruff was set to make his major league debut, and as he was warming up in the outfield prior to the game, injured his hamstring. And then the wheels were in motion to try to get a new starter ready, which was Suter, who held his own through the first 4 innings and then got hit hard in the 5th. Did not get through the 5th. Matt Carpenter had a big hit in that 5th inning. 2-out double, drove in a run. Looks like Willie's trying a changeup here. 86 mile an hour.
Yeah, why not? I mean, work on it. That is a pitch that that third pitch that, you know, pitch that you take a little off, maybe curveball or changeup. Something to keep the hitters honest.
Three 3-0 on Carpenter. That one's in there. Well, if Peralta can get out of this inning, the Brewers will have Arcia, Santana, and then Sogard coming up. Dames to follow. 5 runs is not out of reach. The Brewers have not swung the bats well here in the last 3 games. But you figure that dam's got to break at some point. There's ball 4.
Well, today's time of the game win at the Red Door Saloon in Loyal, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
The beat goes on here for Peralta, the 8th batter of the inning coming up. 2 outs, 3 walks in the inning. Dexter Fowler will turn around, hit lefty. He has 2 hits today, including a little jam shot RBI single off Suter in the 5th. That was Suter's last hitter faced. On the first pitch, fly ball into left. Perez fighting a little bit, and he's got it to end the inning. But the Cardinals tack on 2. Peralta gets through it, but it's 5-0 now as we go to the 7th.
At Busch Stadium, game 1 of a doubleheader as we head to the 7th. Our minor league report. Corbin Burns, right-handed pitcher for Biloxi Shuckers, yesterday picked up his first win in AA after being promoted. He went 6 innings, just 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts for him on 92 pitches. You see over his last 3, he's been dominant. Just the earned run average, just 1.08. His earned run average leads all of the Brewers' farm system and is 3rd overall. So nice to see Burns continue to perform at a high level after being promoted from Carolina.
Good job, Corbin Burns. That Biloxi team's got a lot of talent there. Luis Ortiz was just placed on the disabled list. That's 1 loss for them. That's a guy we're keeping an eye on, but Burns stepping up big in his absence. Tyler Lyons next out of the Cardinal bullpen as we go to the 7th inning now. The Brewers are down 5-0. Cardinals have scored all 5 of those runs in the last 2, and the left-hander Lyons is on the mound.
Yeah, 1 of 3 left-handers down in that Cardinals bullpen. You got Cecil, Segrist, and Tyler Lyons, first lefty out of the pen. Last pitched a couple of days ago against the Phillies.
Arcia leads off for the Brewers. A former Biloxi Shucker just 2 years ago. Matter of fact, Carlos Subero, who is the Brewers' first base coach, was the manager of that Biloxi team that went to the Southern League Championship. And Subero promoted to the big leagues last year, his second year. He's been with Arcia the whole way and is very much a father type figure for Orlando Arcia. I remember talking to Carlos Subero about his 2 middle infielders in Double-A in 2015. And he said he would put his reputation on the line right now that there are not 2 better defensive middle infielders in the big leagues than the 2 he's got in Double-A. And he was talking about Arcia and Yadiel Rivera.
Yeah, no kidding. Both of them with cannon for arms.
Arcia strikes out for the first out of the 7th.
Yeah, Subero is the guy that convinced the Brewers to make Junior Guerra a starting pitcher.
Yeah.
And that's worked out pretty well.
He's had a good eye.
Works awfully hard with the infielders.
Coaches and manages in the Venezuelan Winter League each offseason. There's a big swing by Santana. His first at bat of the day came in on the double switch last inning. It'll be curious to find out if the Brewers make a move between games, which they can do because of the injury to Brandon Woodruff. And so the AAA ball club, Colorado Springs, is in Memphis tonight, so there are players available there. And you wonder.
Yeah, Brett Phillips probably still with the ball club. He just got sent down this morning.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Brett Phillips. Now, Rob Scahill would not be an option because he got designated for assignment.
Right. Yeah, had he just gotten sent down, it would have been different. You can bring a guy right back because of an injury.
Those are the flurry of transactions prior to this doubleheader, and Brandon Woodruff just a half an hour from his major league debut injured a hamstring while warming up and was a late scratch. Santana flies to center, 2 outs in the inning.
How bad does he feel?
Oh man,
I mean, that's a crusher right there. I mean, and this is a guy, Brandon Woodruff, is very rarely hurt. I mean, that's the one thing the Brewers loved about this guy. You know, big, strong, right-handed pitcher, always able to take the ball, but lo and behold, right? First major league start.
I just wonder what's going through his mind here. Woodruff, he has a ton of family here. He's got his wife in town. They all are all from Tupelo, Mississippi, and they drove about 5.5 hours to be here for his major league debut. I had a chance to talk to him before the game. I saw him walking around the ballpark outside, and they were all nervous and excited and all the things that families go through. So a complete shock for them, you can imagine, when they arrived here in the ballpark and saw that Brandon was not out there warming up in the bullpen preparing for his start. 0-2 to Sogard, and a pop-up foul. So this was the scene. Woodruff wearing 53 talking to Derek Johnson in the bottom left, and you can tell he's grabbing at his right hamstring.
Didn't even get on the mound.
And Derek Johnson said, we're not going to mess with that. Too big of a prospect, too much talent. And so Woodruff exited.
Didn't even make it to the big league bullpen mound. But my guess is we're going to see him again some point.
Yeah, you would imagine. I mean, he's had
got
great
a nice
success.
career ahead of him.
What'd you see in him? I know you've watched some tape on him and studying up for his outing today as Sogard delivers one into right center, a base hit.
Well, he's a guy that relies, and he says it himself, that he relies on being ahead in the count with a mid-90s fastball, 95 to 97, 8 miles an hour, and with a slider, he throws a changeup. But his key to success, according to him, Brandon Woodruff, is working ahead in the count and getting hitters in a defensive mode. He's got good command of his pitches. unfortunately weren't able to see that today.
Eric Dames on the first pitch. Nice play by Wong and a fire to second for the out. Heck of a play by Colton Wong, who has as much range as any second baseman in the league. Takes a hit away from Eric Dames. And the Brewers are gone in the 7th. Stretch time in St. Louis. Cardinals lead 5-0. Brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. The beautiful arch. Brock and I are going to make a trip to the top between games. We'll give you a report.
Isn't it too hot to go up there?
I don't know. It's too high also, among other things.
You've been up there before?
No, I won't go up there.
Me either.
Nope.
I won't.
That was all a bit.
I think it's beautiful enough from down here.
Willie Peralta returns for his second inning of work.
They say in the breeze, and it is a little windy today, right? Kind of rocks back and forth a bit.
See, there's yet another reason not to go up into the arch. Because at some point, that elevator that takes you up there has to bend a little. You know what I mean? It kind of like ratchets up. Little jam shot grounder to Thames. He'll take it himself. And Tommy Pham is retired.
You know, I'm a little claustrophobic. You know, I'm big. I'm a big guy.
You're a big guy. You're
Double
big
X, 6'3". I'm not so worried about it going up and going down. I'm worried about it getting stuck somewhere up there.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Those little, yeah, there's people back there. They're all checking us out. I'm with you, Rock. You know what it reminds me of? You know, the things that we won't be doing. Remember they were rappelling down off the tower in Toronto?
Yeah, right. CN Tower.
CN Tower. That does not make any sense at all. Why you would, even though you have, you know, you're strapped in and it feels safe. But what if something happens? It's not worth it.
Didn't Sophia rappel down a hotel in Milwaukee?
I think she did once.
That's about as crazy as it gets too.
She seeks danger.
She's young. She'll get over it.
And she lived to tell about it.
How was it, Sophia?
What, did you rappel down a?
It was a fundraising event for Shatterproof, and it was at the Hyatt Hotel. It was 2 or 3 years ago, but it was fun.
How high was it?
However tall that Hyatt Hotel is downtown.
I mean, I can think of a lot of other ways to help raise funds for something. You know, a 5K walk or.
How about just writing a check?
Oh, sure.
Forget about walking 5K. Just here's $100.
I don't need to rappel down a hotel to raise funds and awareness. You're gonna have to be raising funds for me on the ground. Nah, people who do it say it's great.
Yeah.
Sophia's always shaming us into doing all kind of crazy things.
Yeah, thrill seekers. Good for them.
Jerko takes a ball down and away. By the way, Sophia's brother was married over the weekend. And we want to say congratulations to the entire Minert family, especially her younger brother. That one's in the air. Bandy's giving it a look. That'll be out of play. Mario Minert and Emily were married this past weekend. So congratulations to Sophia's baby brother.
A lot going on in the Fox family last weekend.
Where were you this past weekend?
I was in Arizona.
Oh, that's right.
Me and Matt were doing the games.
2-2 to Jerko. And that's a little bit low. Brewers dropping 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks. They won the first one Friday in impressive fashion, then dropped the next 2.
I want to congratulate John Kashan. You know, Craig's son graduated high school.
Very nice.
Craig and his wife Pam had a nice celebration. So good job. It's always a big day. You got one coming up, don't you?
Oh man, don't remind me. One more year. I'm already sad about it. Fly ball to right for Santana. And fighting the sun makes a catch. 2 quick outs for Peralta here in the 7th. By the way, this is why we don't go up into the arch, because we have a look from the arch. This is what those folks see from up there. There's the old City Hall building, Ballpark Village, which is now up and running and very popular. Great little downtown setting. This is the 3rd version of Busch Stadium. That area where Ballpark Village is located, this view here. So this would have been about in the middle of the old Busch Stadium. Turned into a parking lot and then Ballpark Village.
Can you imagine a day like today on that old Busch Stadium in the AstroTurf?
Wow.
Yeah, hot.
Ball and a strike. Baseball has a lot of ways to combat the heat. You know, the old school kind of baseball. Did you ever go for the lettuce leaf in your hat?
No.
I don't know if that's true or not, but if anybody actually did it. Hey, Peralta comes back, a 3-up, 3-down 7th, picks up a strikeout, and we go to the 8th. Brewers are down 5-0.
Of a doubleheader, and you might not need an umbrella inside Miller Park, but that doesn't mean a Brewers umbrella wouldn't come in handy. The Brew Crew hosts the Padres this Sunday, and the first 20,000 fans in attendance will get a Brewers golf umbrella, courtesy of Palermo's Frozen Pizza. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
Good day to get a sweat going today in St. Louis. First of a day-night doubleheader this afternoon, and then we'll have the nightcap hit the air for Brewers Live at 6:30. And then first pitch at 7:15. Jimmy Nelson on the mound for the Brew Crew tonight. Hernan Perez will lead off for the Brewers as we go to the 8th. 5-0. St. Louis has the lead. Tyler Lyons back out there for a second inning of work. Our matchup tonight, by the way, Jimmy Nelson will be opposed by Marco Gonzalez for St. Louis. They have announced he is their official 26 man. That was a rule that changed a few years ago. It's a good rule too, I think. You know, you add one man to the roster when you play a doubleheader. That's our Miller Lite What's on Tap. We're on the air at 6:30 tonight for round 2 of this doubleheader, which will be a 4-game series. Night games tomorrow night and then Thursday night, and then the Brewers are back home Friday night against the Padres. A ground ball hits a glove of Lyons, barehanded by Garcia, and not in time to get Perez. Hernan beats it out for an infield single.
My League of Lions lets it go. It's going to be an easy out for Garcia. He slowed it down, redirected it a bit, and Perez able to reach first. Right there, redirected. Garcia has to play it on the bare hand, and not in time.
So here's Travis Shaw. Brewers have been shut out through the first 7 innings as Shaw bounces one foul. The moment of truth up to now for the Brewers offensively came in the 5th. Bases were loaded. Perez and Shaw coming up, and 2 fly ball outs to center field. Perez's fly ball was too shallow to score the run, and Lance Lynn was able to get out of the inning, and then the Cardinals scored 3 the next inning. There's a bouncer, chance for 2, easy double play, and the leadoff single is eliminated. 4-6-3 double play, 2 gone in the 8th. And that'll bring up Lewis Brinson now with 2 outs. Still looking for his first big league hit. He's 0 for 3 today. A couple of strikeouts. And a strike to Brinson. Got to get that first one out of the way. Brinson, one of the most sought after prospects. Every trade the Texas Rangers were involved in, Brinson's name came up, and the Brewers had the best offer with Jonathan Lucroy and Jeremy Jeffress going that way. And because Jeffress was involved in the deal, and you ended up getting an elite starting catcher, and for the Rangers last year, in what was a playoff year, an elite back into the bullpen pitcher, the Rangers had to throw in another highly touted prospect in Ryan Cordell. That's a little flare, and it's going to be caught by Wong, and Brinson is out. Wong took a hit away from him. Nice running catch, and Brinson still hitless in the big leagues. Bottom of the 8th coming. The Brewers trail the Cardinals 5-0. Pretty good story. I might have to try that. I'm sure they'd all be cashed quickly. Thank you, Jeff. Here we go to the bottom of the 8th. Neftali Feliz is on to pitch for the Brewers. Peralta goes 2 innings, gives up 2 runs, but did retire his final 4 hitters, and now Feliz, another pitcher the Brewers are trying to get back together. They need these guys.
Yeah, he got roughed up on Sunday against the Diamondbacks as well. 2 runs, did not retire a batter. A guy that started out as the Brewers closer and was doing a pretty good job, and now the Brewers are just trying to get him to figure it out again. Nothing wrong with the velocity. I mean, it's been good. It's just the secondary pitches that have been giving him fits.
A very similar story to Willie Peralta. You could say the same things about Feliz that you do with Peralta when you can start eliminating pitches. It wasn't the save opportunities that were the problem for Feliz. He saved 8 of 9 chances. It was the other opportunities. It was coming in a tie game and the late tie games, and you know, those are the ones that cost him early and got him taken out of the closer's role, because you have to have a closer who can do that. And Knebel took over in mid-May and has been there ever since. But the same story for Neftali Feliz as Willie Peralta. He knows that he's had multiple chances. He's had Tommy John surgery, so this is his 3rd year back from that injury. Was with the Pirates last year and put up good numbers. Hard hit ball on a hop, staying right down on it is Sogard, and out number 1.
Yeah, getting his nose right in there. Good job by Sogard to smother it. Play that off to the side. Pretty good chance that's going to end up in the outfield, but check out Sogard. Stays right in front of it and gets the out. Ball's hit hard. Good play, Sogard.
Well, it shouldn't be this way, but there are a number of second basemen in the big leagues that would play that off to the side in a game like this, in this kind of heat. But Sogard, you appreciate that effort. Stands right down in there and takes it off the stomach if need be. Jose Martinez, who had the big homer in the 5th, broke a scoreless tie in the first run that Suter allowed. And the 5th inning is going to be the inning of discussion after this game. The fact the Brewers could not deliver a run in the top of the frame, and then the Cardinals answering with 3 in the bottom half, and the last 2 coming with 2 out hits. That's where the game changed.
Yeah, it does. You know, little certain spots in the game. I mean, you got to figure the Cardinals were pumped up, bases loaded, 1 out, 3-4 coming up, not scoring, and they were able to turn it around and put a 3 spot on them. It's the way it's been going for the Brewers offense as of late. Last 3 games, not a whole lot going on.
Starting to feel the effects of no Ryan Braun in the lineup.
Yeah, you can get by with that. I mean, I think the Brewers got by a lot longer than anybody would have anticipated with good offense without Braun in the lineup. But you lose that guy, that starts to catch up to you. And right now it has. No Ryan Braun, no Shaw in Arizona.
I saw Ryan in the clubhouse before the game. He's still commencing with baseball drills. He finally got into the outfield over the weekend. He's been taking batting practice since last Tuesday in the 3rd group, which is typically with the bench players for that particular day. So he's getting back into it. He's going to have to run, prove he can sprint and recover, take those left turns with the calf strain.
And nobody knows that more than Ryan Braun. I mean, that's not any breaking news. Everybody knows that. Anytime you lose a guy like Braun, it's going to hurt, and that's probably why he's been on the disabled list so long and tried to come back too soon. The first time.
Yeah, he certainly did. Was only back for 3 days and then went right back on the DL. No player wants to be on the disabled list. That's extremely hard work. He looks pretty casual right now during the game, but he's got to be one of the first players in the ballpark, and all the work that goes into a rehab with the athletic trainers and the physical therapists and whatnot, and it can be a brutal existence trying to come back. There's a drive in the left center. That is way back. And that's going to be halfway up the bleachers. And Martinez, who had 1 home run this year, has 2 of them today. And his 3rd RBI makes it 6-0.
Well, fastball middle in, and we're watching this Martinez take these big hacks all day and gives this one a ride, and no doubt a wind blowing out in that direction. That was a big fly. That's a major league home run right there.
6-0 Cardinals with 1 out in the 8th. And here's Greg Garcia. Unfortunately for the Brewers, these games are becoming all too familiar. You're kind of hovering around, but you're down. And then this version of the bullpen, allowing the opposition to stretch it out and putting it out of reach.
Well, on Friday in Arizona, the Brewers had 14 hits. That was 2 away from a season high. And including today, last 3 games, 11 hits.
And that's a good point, because you know the bullpen takes their fair share of criticism, especially this version of the bullpen. But you know the offense deserves some as well, because if you get a couple of hits here or there, you score some runs, you change the complexion of the game. I mean, the easiest place for an offense to be is with a 2, 3, 4 run lead. I mean, you're freed up, you're loose. You take chances. For example, if it's a 1-0 game, or maybe the Cardinals are trailing, they are never going to send Yadier Molina on that fly ball to left.
Right.
But they have a lead, 3-0. You try it. It works.
Well, the bottom of the 5th, if the Brewers able to get maybe 1 or 2 runs, I mean, the whole complexion of their at-bats is going to be different. They're fired up in that dugout. Bases loaded, 1 out. Nothing on the board. They're kind of feeling pretty good. But, keep in mind, this Brewers team has far exceeded expectations, still over 500.
Yeah.
Still have been one of the surprises in Major League Baseball this year in a so-called rebuild mode.
And I think when you kind of script the way the season has gone here and try to figure out where the holes are and where the improvements could be, I don't think Craig Counsell and company feel like they have played their best baseball by any stretch and have overreached their expectations. They feel like they got a lot of room to grow, and I think that's a good sign. If you played your best ball and you're hovering around 500, and because the rest of the division has struggled, there'd be cause for concern. I think for the Brewers, they feel like, at least talking to the players and Craig Counsell, he feels like we've got some areas we could shore up quickly and change things quickly, which is good. That's what you want to hear. And a lot of great young talent to watch every day. That's been the fun part.
Yeah, right.
Foul ball. Shaw's going to give it a look, and that one is off the railing. Count will be at 2-2.
Well, if you were to go to Craig Counsell right at the end of spring training and tell him, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 2 games over 500 mid-June, would you take it?
In first place, and no Ryan Braun. Yeah, I think you'd take it for sure.
And you had to change your closer.
Well, we're at the point now, and I know you get asked these questions all the time like I do, but it's hard to know what this team is going to be right now. Because there are days, and I think that happens with a lot of young teams, right? There are days when they look like they can't be beaten. And then there are days when you see a lot of those warts that a developing team, a rebuilding team has. But that'll be a huge hit when he comes back. That will change things. Fly ball, Brinson coming in. It's shallow. That's going to slice over to Perez, who makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
Now you look around this infield for the Brewers. I mean, you know, the defense in general. How many of these guys have been everyday players in the big leagues even last year?
Right.
Still trying to figure all that out. That's not an easy thing to get through. Arcia came up toward the latter part of the season, and
there's not one out there that was an everyday player in the big leagues.
that's what I'm saying. That's my point. I mean, that's something you kind of morph into. You learn how to get through a major league season on a daily basis.
I think maybe the closest would be Santana, right? But he missed a couple of months with elbow and shoulder injuries last year. He's a young guy.
Perez, I mean, he played a lot last year. But I mean, point being, I mean, you're looking at guys that are in roles that they've really never experienced before in the major leagues.
That's what makes it fun to come to the ballpark. You never know. Could be days like this, but could be a lot of good days ahead too. We'll see. It'll be very interesting to see what the Brewers do approaching the trade deadline. I think rightly so, the organization led by David Stearns, the general manager, is looking at any postseason as a team who has the potential to win the World Series, win a world title. So that's going to be a decision that David Stearns and Matt Arnold will have to make, the assistant GM. And win as many games as you can in the meantime. I think the first big question when you start to move towards a trade deadline scenario where you try to acquire is, do you have enough in the minor leagues to fill those roles? And that's where we are right now, huh?
Yep.
You find out about Hader. You've got Brinson up now. Phillips is part of the mix. Woodruff before the injury today. So these are the players you want to know if they're ready for the big leagues yet. As Lyon strikes out, Feliz is out of the eighth, gives up another run on a homer by Martinez. To the ninth we go. Last call for the Brewers, down 6. Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Game one of this day-night doubleheader from St. Louis on a steamy Tuesday. Sun is shining brightly. And the Cardinals have extended their lead to 6-0 after a home run by Jose Martinez in the 8th. He's hit 2 homers today and then driven in 3 runs in this game. And Tyler Lyons is back on the mound to try to finish this one off.
Yeah, this will be his 3rd inning, which means he'll be credited with a save. He's able to get through it. Brewers' goal right now is to get into that bullpen, maybe have an effect, and for tomorrow or tonight. And the Brewers are only down by 5. Keep in mind, I mean, it seems like a big lead. Actually 6. It's 6-0. 6 to tie. Why not get 7?
Why not?
What you say?
Why not get 7? Put the pressure on. Bandy will lead it off. Lyons made the last out, so taking a little extra time as we get ready for this 9th inning. By the way, they released the latest on the All-Star Game ballots, and in the American League, look at this. Aaron Judge is the top vote getter, the rookie from the Yankees, who leads the league in batting average and homers, 2nd in RBIs.
Jose Altuve with 1.6. 2 guys that have more votes than Trout. Of course, Trout's on the DL.
And how about Miguel Sano from the Twins, the leading vote getter over at 3rd base. All-Star Game will be in Miami this season. Seen only on Fox. Jet Bandy at the plate for the Brewers to start this 9th. 2-0 the count to Bandy, who's 0 for 3, couple strikeouts today. Lance Lynn in line for the win. Pitching 5 innings, 8 strikeouts. And Mike Matheny made the move at just the right time. He took him out, pinch hit for him in the 5th, and the man who hit for him, Huffman, had a triple with 2 outs, and that turned into 2 2-out runs after that. Lynn went 5, Brebbia went a scoreless inning, and now Lyons trying to go 3 to pick up the save.
And Lance Lynn on the winning end right here, first time in a month.
'29-year-old Lyons done a little bit of both in his career with the Cardinals. Been a starter and a reliever. Last year exclusively out of the bullpen. He was good for him last year out of the bullpen. He has had 1 save in his career. That came earlier this season. This would be number 2 as a fan has run onto the field, sprinting to the wall, and will not end up well for him as security takes him down quickly.
Yeah, spent a night in jail. Hope it was worth it.
It's just not worth it at all. He does have pants on, I will report. So they're handcuffing the fan, escorting him off.
Making his family proud.
We don't like to show you those things. Only encourages him. Good job by the St. Louis security group, though. They were on him quickly.
Wow, security group and ground crew.
That's a long sprint out there to center field. But you know they live for it. They're just waiting for somebody to take to the ground. They don't want it, but they're ready for it.
Yep.
As if they don't have enough to deal with. So order has been restored, and now Bandy up there on a 3-2 count. There's a called strike 3, and Bandy is out. And the first out of the 9th. Tough day for Bandy. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Jesus Aguilar now. He'll pinch hit in the pitcher spot. Brewers are going to get through this game with 4 pitchers used. Jared Hughes only pitched a third of an inning, so he'll be good and rested for tonight's game as well. No problem there.
The Cardinals only used 2 relievers at this point.
Brebbia threw 10 pitches, 9 of them for strikes in his scoreless inning, and now Lyons, who will have a few days off, I'm sure. Stay tuned. Brewers Live coming your way. A post-game show with Jeff Grayson and company, and Sophia will be in the clubhouse for interviews. Be interesting to see if the Brewers make a move between games, if they add to their roster or not. With the injury to Brandon Woodruff, Craig Counsell will have plenty to say, and I'm sure he'll be asked plenty about what the next steps are for the Brewers. Jimmy Nelson and Marco Gonzalez are scheduled starters as Aguilar. What a play by Jerko on a throw to first in time, and the second out of the inning. Boy, glove hand side. Jerko just reached down at the last moment. Looked like the ball was even by him, and he makes a play for the out.
He's done a pretty good job at third base. He really has. From what we have seen from him in the games they've played against the Brewers. Very sure-handed. He doesn't have the greatest range in the world, but if he can get to it, he's going to make a play. More times than not. That was a nice one there.
Johnny Peralta got designated for assignment by the Cardinals. That opened the door for Jerko at third every day. He's been swinging the bat well. He's been their best hitter, actually, Jerko.
Big home run year last year, right? 30.
There's Keon Broxton with a base hit to right. So Broxton in a pinch hit appearance with a single to right field. Maybe that'll get him going a little bit. He's been scuffling at the plate.
Well, he's 2 for his last 2. His last at bat in Arizona was a home run. Well, now in a pinch hit role, able to drive one into right field. That's always a good sign. Keeps it alive.
Here comes Santana now. On the first pitch, Jerko will go to second, and that's a ball game, and the Cardinals win the first of this doubleheader. 6-0, a combined shutout for St. Louis. Lance Lynn picks up the win. Tyler Lyons a 3-inning save, his second save of the season. 2 home runs from Jose Martinez. And the Brewers drop the opener here in St. Louis. The Cardinals have now won 4 straight. Brewers have lost 3 in a row. Good news is they'll get it turned around and do it again tonight. Don't forget, 6:30 is airtime for Brewers Live pregame show. We've got Brewers Live postgame right now. Let's check in with Jeff Grayson. He's in our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio. Jeff?